Frosty.
Hello everyone, I'm Scott Lowe with Activision, and what you just saw was Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, the next Call of Duty game from takes the series to a broad new setting, introducing new characters, a new universe, a new story. And as you can imagine, in the months ahead, we're going to be showing and talking about quite a bit, but we wanted to kick things off today with a behind-the-scenes discussion with the developers to learn more about the campaign, dive a little bit into multiplayer and co-op, as well as Modern Warfare Remastered, which you may have noticed there at the end of the trailer. That's very exciting. It's real, it's happening, and we're going to talk about it in just a little bit. But first, we're going to talk about the campaign and the story. And to share their insight, I'm joined now by Jacob Minkoff, Design Director, as well as Taylor Kurosaki, Narrative Director. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
So for those of us outside of the game development realm, what do your jobs entail as it pertains to the studio and this game in particular?
Well, I'm the narrative director of the game, which means I'm in charge of all things sort of story-related and narrative presentation-related. So that means the story, the scenes, the writing, the casting the game, the characters in the game, and then, of course, directing the performance capture here at this studio we're at right now.
Cool. And design, from that perspective?
Design director, so my job is to make sure that we are implementing all of that in-game in a way that makes the emotions, the characters come across properly. You know, I focus on visual design language, mechanics, you know, making sure that the player's experience on the stick conveys all of the emotions that Taylor's scripts and performances and everything are intended to evoke.
So the two of you actually have quite a bit of experience doing narrative-driven experiences in games, most recently at Naughty Dog before coming to Infinity Ward. What drew you to the Call of Duty franchise in this project in particular?
Well, I mean, speaking for myself, I've been a fan of Call of Duty since the beginning. I remember playing the first Call of Duty. It really, it blew my mind. The first time I saw a dude put his back up against a wall and, you know, he's got his gun and he's, peeking around the corner. And it created so much more tension for me because I believed in the stakes of the moment. I believed that it was dangerous. And that was kind of a turning point for me because I realized how important NPC performances are in making you buy into the world and believe in the world. And I've honestly used tricks that I learned from Call of Duty 1 in every game I've shipped in my career. And, you know, when the opportunity arose to work on a Call of Duty, I was, you know, super excited to do that. And on top of that, the Infinite Warfare project itself is extremely exciting to anyone who likes video games at all.
Yeah, ditto for me. I've been a huge fan of the series of Modern Warfare, Crew Expendable. What an incredible opening to a game. I just remember it just taking me into that place, and I didn't want to leave. And so for us, I think the opportunity to sort of work in the Call of Duty franchise, which is known for, you know, incredible set pieces and incredible visuals, and use our sort of narrative philosophy into that, just seemed like an incredible opportunity.
Well, and speaking of narrative, let's talk about probably the biggest question on everyone's minds with regards to Infinite Warfare, which of course is the setting. What was the motivation to bring it to space, and you know, what were kind of the opportunities there for you guys?
I mean, first and foremost, the motivation was the enthusiasm of the team. We all wanted to make this game. We could feel it in our bones. No one was going to tell us no. This was the game we absolutely wanted to make. It was the game we knew we needed to make. The opportunity to take this trademark Call of Duty feel, this boots on the ground, authentic military feel, and take it into this new setting. You know, to take, in some ways, the familiar, meaning that gritty, authentic war feeling, and take it into a new setting was super exciting, and it was an opportunity we couldn't pass up.
You know, in Infinite Warfare, the world is dependent on resources from outposts throughout the solar system. You know, Earth has been stripped of its natural resources, kind of like we see today, peak oil, climate change, and now the resources that we need are out there in space. It's been said that the first trillionaire is going to be whoever first mines an asteroid. So you have that sort of money out there, you're going to have war. There's going to be militarization, no question about it. So in our world where the people and countries of Earth are reliant on these outposts for the fuel and other resources that they need, there's a brutal, insurgent, militarized group called the Settlement Defense Front that rises to attempt to take control of all of these resources. The Settlement Defense Front is this brutal fascist group that wants to completely control all of the outposts throughout the solar system and to essentially hold the countries of Earth in a stranglehold by virtue of having a complete control and embargo on all of the resources that the people of Earth need to survive.
So in terms of like envisioning that universe and kind of building it from the ground up in that way, but maintaining that feel, alongside of that, what has the new setting from a creative standpoint in terms of gameplay kind of afforded you that another setting probably wouldn't have had?
Well, of course, new environments, right? Space allows us to take the player to places that they've never been in Call of Duty before. So, we have dogfighting in space, in a convertible space fighter that switches between zero-G and atmospheric combat. And of course we have all of the boots-on-ground combat that you're used to on Earth, but then we also have the experience of fighting in zero-G, grappling around the outside of a ship that you're trying to board. And we have, for instance, a mission where you are on the surface of an asteroid spinning out of control close to the sun, where it's 2,000 degrees in the sunlight and negative 200 degrees in the shade. And you have to be focused not only on the guys in front of you and creating cover there, but also you need cover against the sun so you don't get fried by it. So it creates these new gameplay challenges and these new pressures on the characters that are totally unique to Infinite Warfare.
So, character development seems to be a big part of this. I mean, whether it's, on the settlement defense front side and like kind of making them a believable enemy, as well as, the relationships you as a captain have with your crew. How are you guys bringing these characters to life? I mean, we're here on this performance capture stage. It's not just a pretty set. Like it's something you guys are actively using, right?
No, we've been shooting for a little over a year now. We don't just kind of get everyone together and shoot over a few days. We like to look at our production more like shooting on a episodic TV series. We have actors that are committed to working on this project with us from beginning to end. We get to know the actors better. We can tailor those performances and those roles to what's really true about the character for them. And so we've got a shoot here tomorrow, actually, one of our last shoots in the game. But it's been incredible to have this facility because what it allows us to do is as you can hear, it's incredibly quiet here. It's a acoustically perfect space. And so we can capture each actor's movements, their voices, their facial expressions, all at one go. And it allows these characters to really be in these scenes and acting and listening and responding to each other in a very natural, believable way. Also, we think that our voiceovers in this game are going to be much more realistic because we don't do any voiceovers in a recording booth where an actor is sort of forced to sit on a stool in front of a giant microphone and they can't move too much because it changes the acoustic properties of their voice too much. Instead, we have wireless microphones and again these helmet-mounted cameras capturing their expressions, and they're able to run around the space. They're able to throw themselves into cover. They're able to grab a gun and shout that a grenade is coming, or crawl up next to each other and whisper because we're doing a stealthy infill. And again, I think that's really going to transport the player into this universe really effectively.
Like the believability of this whole world is paramount to us, right? Everything is about buying into it, thinking like, oh yeah, oh that could happen, that is real, and these characters do act that way, and I do buy into their performances, and you know, I mean, that's one of the reasons why. So like in this story, you only are fighting within the solar system the whole time, and there are no aliens. You're fighting other humans, right? This is, again, like, we're looking for the most grounded, believable conflict you could possibly have in space, and that goes from the character performances and motivations all the way through the environments and the plot.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to walk me through it. I really appreciate it. I understand you guys actually have a clip to kind of highlight some of the performance capture process with an introduction from Captain Reyes himself, so that's pretty awesome. So we'll check that out, and then after that, we're going to come back and talk about multiplayer, co-op, and of course, Modern Warfare Remastered. So roll the clip.
Hey guys, I'm Brian Bloom. I play Captain Nick Reyes, your player character. And today we're going to get a sneak peek behind the scenes at some performance capture footage from the all-new upcoming Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. This is a scene I wrote with Jake and Taylor where Captain Reyes and Staff Sergeant Omar are planning a mission to go behind enemy lines and scout an LZ for reinforcements. Here at the Infinity Ward motion capture stages, we created some incredible, amazing characters that should be memorable and add to your gameplay experience. So without further ado, let's take a look at some raw performance capture video from Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
You been down to Titan?
I have.
Ops?
No. Pops. Dad was a tank farmer. Worked the pipelines for about 30 years. Retired just before the SDF took it over.
Let's go give him hell.
Bet your ass. This has been a long time coming.
How are we executing?
Joint operation. You and me. Our copy.
Affirmative. Armed recon? Small team. We're invading a denied area.
Yeah, silver lining around that reticle is SetDef didn't ask permission then, and we're not asking permission now.
My jacks are already standing by.
You just do what you did at the gateway. We'll zip this place right up.
Proud to be of service, Sergeant.
Pride is 100% bona fide bullshit, Raze. You just make sure the mission comes first.
Copy that. Sure, the Sergeant is well aware that the word proud is right in the Navy creed.
I knew there was something I didn't like about you sons of bitches. That explains the white uniform and the submarines.
Submarines?
Yeah. Only the Navy could build a ship designed to sink.
Let's gear up and get evil.
Sure thing.
All right, well, we're back, and of course, it wouldn't be Call of Duty if we didn't talk at least a little bit about multiplayer and cooperative, and of course, the little teaser there at the end, Modern Warfare Remastered. And so to give us all of the intel, I'm joined by Joe Seacott, lead designer on the multiplayer team, Brian Bright, project director on the cooperative mode, and Eric Monticelli, director of studio communications. Welcome, guys.
Hi. Hey.
Joe, since you're closest to me, let's start with multiplayer. How has this new setting kind of influenced from a design perspective and opened up new doors for you?
I mean, as a designer, that's really opened the floodgates for us. Like, we're not kind of chained to modern. We can kind of make new toys, create new mechanics, and we can take players to places they've never been before. You know, we have some really good multiplayer maps that take place on Earth, but we also have a multiplayer map up in a space station. We have multiplayer maps on other planets within our solar system. So just being able to kind of bring players, or have the opportunity to bring players there is just really exciting for us. We also have kind of new mechanics. You know, new mechanics I can't talk about right now, but we have kind of a whole new stable of lethals and tacticals for the player to kind of engage with and to try, and you're going to see some of that in our upcoming trailers, and it's pretty spectacular.
Well, speaking of the trailers, we saw a little bit, you know, on the campaign side, you know, these, you know, zero-G dogfights and these, like, you know, ship-based battles. Is that coming into multiplayer at all, or is it mainly still on that kind of person-to-person combat?
We always share, like, we work closely with the campaign team and they work closely with us, so like a lot of tech went into the Jackal and the flying, and we have that tech in MP, but we're very, very careful to preserve the core of what makes Call of Duty just the best shooter out there. Our team plays a ton of Black Ops 3. You know, we watched it on the CWL, and we've gotten to build off of kind of their map design and what they learned. So it's really, I think, hitting the mark, and it is future, but it's still the Call of Duty that you love.
Awesome. Well, I know it's very early days, and I'm sure there's a lot more you want to tell us, but thank you for telling us what you could, at least.
Yes.
All right, Brian, you're up next. Let's talk about cooperative. What's going on in Infinite Warfare?
Well, I'm zombies. So I've got a really experienced team, awesome team working on this. You know, we've done chaos mode as a team for Modern Warfare 3 with Joe's help, and then we did all the whole Extinction series from Ghosts. And you know, now we're all super big fans of zombies and all the things that both Sledge and Treyarch have done with zombies and Raven in the past. And so we're taking that, and we're excited that we're able to kind of finally do our own take on zombies. And it's its own completely different universe. It's a separate universe from what Treyarch's doing. It's a separate universe from Infinite Warfare. We have something like truly unique and different, and people haven't seen before. And I think, you know, I'm sure that the fans are going to love it.
Well, speaking of the fans, if there's one thing I know about Zombies fans, they are ravenous, and they go crazy for Easter eggs. I know it's a big priority for Extinction and some of your other work, but is that something you're embracing as well for Zombies?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we just scratched the surface on Extinction, but in Zombies, I mean, we love the Easter